Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1403, which was broadcast on April 13th, 2020. I'm calling this episode either Brain Drizzle or Make Him Scream for Me. I'm going to go with Brain Drizzle, I think. As referring to what was that referring to? Somebody was talking about that they were brainstorming while other people just have brain drizzles and brain drips. Who is saying that? Zelina Vega was. Of course. This episode was dominated by Zelina Vega and her crew. Like, they were on at least half of all the segments. Zelina Vega herself was in, like, half of all the segments on the show. It was cool. I liked that. I liked this episode overall quite a bit. We opened up with Drew McIntyre thanking everybody, and he provided some commentary on a replay of his match against The Big Show, so that was kind of cool. And he wants an opponent, and anybody who wants an opportunity, they'll get one. So Andrade appears, says, I am the real champion. Well, Zelina Vega says he's the real champion, so he challenges Drew McIntyre to a fight, and that is the main event of the evening. Andrade, United States champion, versus Drew, the WWE champion. And he agrees to it. Jerry Lawler is back for some reason, and I hope that's a one-time thing. I think everybody hopes that. But anyway, then we have 3 qualifier matches for the Money in the Bank, women's Money in the Bank ladder match. There are 3 spots for Raw, 3 spots for SmackDown, and the first of these matches is Asuka versus Ruby Riott. Asuka won that match via Asuka Lock. And this is an excellent match. I'd say this is the best match of the night, which is really saying something. There's lots of great stuff in this whole episode. I'm just going to go through everything. But later on, there's Sarah Logan versus Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax. So I get to those as I get to them. MVP is backstage, and he announces that there will be 3 first-time ever matches as qualifier matches for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match next week. And those 3 matches are Rey Mysterio versus Murphy. And then later on, we had an interview with Rey that was kind of clunky, that he accidentally started calling Buddy Murphy, and then it's like, Murphy. But anyway, that'll be a great match. We have Aleister Black versus Austin Theory. Austin Theory, just like all up in everybody's business now. Wow. And Apollo Crews versus MVP. What? This ladder match is going to be so weird. I'm interested to see who's going to be in the SmackDown ladder matches. But in the meantime, we have Aleister Black versus Oney Lorcan. Oney Lorcan sporting the red tights and the white boots, all decked out for Raw, just to lose to Aleister Black via the Black Mass, of course. He's asked, I think it was Sarah Schreiber. It might have been Charlie in the ring. No, or it might have been Kayla. I don't know. One of them interviews him and asks him, what's your game plan going into the qualifier match next week? And he looks at her like, my game plan is to win. So I really like that. I was like, before he said that, I was like, that's such a dumb question. Like, he wants, his game plan is to win, obviously. Then we have Becky come out. She basically says, bring it on, and explains that Shayna fell for her tricks because she was becoming more and more ridiculous, so that Shayna wouldn't take her seriously, and that is how she beat her. And then we had Shayna Baszler versus Sarah Logan. Shayna just beats the crap out of Sarah, stomps her arm. The referee calls for the bell. Initially, Sarah Logan gets the win via disqualification, but then they changed their mind that Sarah won't be able to participate at Money in the Bank because of this arm injury, and Shayna Baszler is declared as the victor. So there's Asuka, there's Shayna Baszler, and then we still have later on Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane to get that third member of this match. Then we have Austin Theory versus Akira Tozawa with Zelina Vega on commentary during this whole match. And she kept saying, I like so many one-liners. They're so interesting, funny, or whatever. But the one I wrote down is that he said, make him scream for me. I was like, oh my God, this is, maybe if I only had the audio, if only the audio is on, then this would be probably not, it'd be suspicious. But Austin Theory wins via the ATL, which is the Austin Theory launch, I think, or something. But there's a point where Vega was talking about how while everybody's brainstorming, or she's always brainstorming with Austin Theory, while everybody else, particularly those on commentary with her, are just have brain drizzles and brain drips. So I like that. Then Vega and her crew, they all gang up on Tozawa to attack him. It's interesting, Tozawa still on Raw, but he's also in the Cruiserweight tournament that's starting on Wednesday on NXT. Let's see. Up next, Seth Rollins. Okay, there are a couple of times Seth Rollins comes on the screen talking about how he is risen and all that kind of stuff, and the last time he appears backstage, he says, "Tonight I will stomp out all doubt." So during the main event, I thought, as it was progressing, I was like, oh wait, Seth hasn't stomped out any doubt yet. He's definitely showing up, either during this match or after it. But before that, a few more things happened. We had Angel Garza, another member of the Vega crew, versus Tahiti Miles. Angel Garza won, of course. When he made his entrance, he kissed the photographer right on the cheek, and I think that was probably his fiance, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he won the match via wing clipper, and then Vega, she wasn't on commentary, she wasn't out there during the match, but of course, her and the rest of the crew, they arrive and they beat up Tahiti Miles. Then we have Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax wins via the Annihilator, which is like a big gorilla press into a Samoan drop. So I guess she's not using the Rampage, or maybe both are her finishers now. Maybe she'll mix it up. But yeah, Nia is in the ladder match. I was kind of hoping Zelina Vega would get involved in this match somehow and take that spot, but that didn't happen. I was also wondering the entire time, where are the Street Profits? Where's Bianca Belair? What's happening? They did finally show up in just a backstage interview where the Profits were being ridiculous, and Bianca's like, stop playing. So I very, very miffed that Bianca Belair didn't even get a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. That is what's really ridiculous. However, I have hope that she just might have a match against Becky Lynch. Maybe that's why she is in the ladder match, because she's going to get a championship shot instead. Like now, instead of having to win a briefcase to do it. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Charlotte, she talks about how she was challenged by the biggest thing, Rhea Ripley, and she beat her. So now Charlotte is the biggest thing. And therefore, to be the biggest thing, you got to beat the biggest thing. And so I think that could be Charlotte Flair's new catchphrase. and new slogan. Put it up on her entrance graphics. Charlotte Flair, the biggest thing. And everybody can take that however they want. Then we had Bobby Lashley with Lana versus No Way Jose. Lana just kept yelling during the match, and Lashley was getting more and more fed up with it. He almost lost, but he did win, and I think he needs to get rid of one L and gain back another. Get Leo Rush back in there. He is far, far better of a manager and probably far better of a spouse than Lana ever could be for Bobby Lashley. Then we have Viking Raiders versus, we haven't seen them in a while, versus Cedric and Ricochet, and lots of great stuff from all these guys. But the Viking Raiders won that match, so I think that probably puts them next in line or further up in line to challenge for the tag team championships. Then we had that Street Profits interview with Bianca that I already mentioned. And then our main event, Andrade versus Drew McIntyre. Another fantastic match from Drew McIntyre and Andrade. We haven't seen him in a few weeks. But we had all of Vega's crew out there, and they were just being very annoying. And then at one point, one of them grabs Drew's foot, and he just goes off. He's like, "Who grabbed my foot?" And he just wails on Austin Theory. But he eventually hits the Claymore, gets the pin on Andrade. But then the Monday Night Messiah arrives, hits Drew McIntyre with a super kick because he's been worn down by this pretty extensive match. It was like twice as long as his match with Brock Lesnar, that's for sure. But Seth hits him with a super kick, hits him with a stomp twice, and that's how we end the episode. So I'm pretty excited for it. I freaking love this version of Seth. Is awesome. And the fact that the day after Easter, he's talking about, "I am truly risen," or something, whatever he said. Like, that's bold. That's a bold choice to do that. So, and it works. It works so well. And his WrestleMania gear was so great, but him being the Messiah, but with that leather jacket and the black glove, it's so ridiculous, and it just works. It's great. It's great. So I don't mind at all that we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Kevin Owens beat him twice at WrestleMania," all that. Well, yeah, that's why he's so enraged. That's why he's on the attack. If Kevin Owens wanted to go after the WWE Championship, then he would be doing it. Not saying that that's not why. I mean, it's written. It's booked. It's whatever. It's decided upon. But I'm saying Kevin Owens has less of a character reason to be angry and going after Drew McIntyre. I don't know what he has motivation to do right now. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania, but I guess we'll see. Everything, like, what I'm trying to say is, I think it makes sense for Seth, having been motivated so much by the anger, the disappointment, all of that, the turning inwards, looking at himself, saying, "No, I need that championship. I'm gonna go after that." I think it makes sense. I don't know. So anyway, what else? I did want to mention a couple of other things. Since it's been a while since my last episode that I posted. This week's Westworld and Better Call Saul were fantastic. I have not watched Dispatches from Elsewhere yet, because when I watched the other two shows, it hadn't been posted on iTunes yet. But Yeah, those Westworld. Holy cow, Westworld's so freaking good. Like, man, there's this kind of a spoiler, but without context. I can say what characters are involved or anything or any of that. But it feels like every episode has like a couple of like huge sci-fi ideas that are like, oh, this is also part of what's going on. But this one it is important to the plot and everything what happens in this episode. But there's a drug that basically makes you hallucinate that you're in different genres of film, and that for what is basically a film was a fantastic excuse to like explore those genres and like those moods with the atmosphere, the style of cinematography as those are experienced by the character that's on that drug, and the music, the soundtrack is so great. It's so great. I think this episode had the best music yet of any of the episodes in this season. I'm so bummed there's only 3 more episodes, I think. This was episode 5. And so there's only 8 episodes total this season, as opposed to 10 episodes in the previous 2 seasons. But man, Westworld, go watch it. It's so great. Watch it from the beginning. If you haven't watched any of it, just watch it all from the beginning. It's all great. And then also, I watched The Main Event, the Netflix film starring Adam Pally as the father. And then there's a little kid named Leo, who's a huge wrestling fan. He finds a mask that turns out it's magic and it gives you like superpowers, and he enters NXT like tournament to get a spot as an NXT superstar, all of that, and he fights it's all guys from NXT in the tournament, and one of them is called Stinkface, played by Otis. And his big finisher is that he has like an atomic blast of it's a huge fart, and it just blows everybody away. And then but the best thing, well, Babatunde is in there. He plays Samson, who's the big bad guy. And his manager is played by Ken Marino, who is always fantastic in everything I've ever seen him in. And then Smooth Operator, played by Keith Lee, is one of the I'd say is the most prominent character, other than our main character. And he his gimmick is that he sings like everything. He sings everything, and it's great. And I really, really want them to make Smooth Operator Keith Lee merchandise. I would absolutely get one of those shirts. But because I don't have a Keith Lee shirt yet, that would be a great excuse to get one, as if it was also a Smooth Operator shirt. But anyway, I thought it was really fun. I mean, it's a movie for kids. And I think any kid that likes wrestling, that's like, especially that's about the same age as the main character, which is about 11, I think. I think that's like the exact target audience, because it also has some like school type stuff, dealing with issues at school while all this is happening. And then also dealing with like familial issues, and it's his grandma lives with him because his mom left, and she's really great. She's a huge wrestling fan, and there's lots of great payoff with that. But yeah, it's so fun. It's really stupid at some parts, like especially the stink face parts. And Eric Bugenhagen is in there. Mia Yim is in there. Who else? Sheamus is the guest referee for the final match. And then The Miz is the host of the whole tournament. And it's so fun. Oh, and then also Renee Young and Corey Graves are on commentary for the final match. And that's really fun because they're totally just playing like the commentators for in Pitch Perfect. What's his name? What's her name? Or like in Dodgeball, the commentary for that. It's like they're totally playing that type of dynamic, and it's just a lot of fun to watch, and it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, check it out. I already talked about the Big Show last week. It's kind of a bummer that it burned through all the wrestling Netflix stuff in just a week, because that's pretty exciting that both of those things are on there. So anyway, that's it. I'll end this episode now. NXT, I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, Wednesday, April 15th. So tonight is NXT. I'll have an episode about that. Probably, I've just been doing it the morning of the next thing. So later this week, probably Friday morning, because we also have NXT UK, which is another like clip type show. From what I understand, some of the superstars will be talking about introducing their favorite matches from throughout NXT UK history. It's only 2 years of history, but it'll be like outside of like the history making matches. They didn't show any women's matches last week, so I hope they show at least a couple of those. Maybe when Kaylee Ray won the women's championship, that would be a great one. And maybe when Toni Storm defeated Rhea Ripley for the championship. I would think at least one of those will be on there. So then we also had some NXT announcements. The tournament starts for the interim cruiserweight championship, of course. We're also getting a tag team championship match, Matt Riddle and a mystery partner, because Pete Dunne is stuck over in the UK. So Matt Riddle will be choosing a partner to face off against Undisputed Era. So I fully expect Undisputed Era to win, unless he picks somebody like Keith Lee or Dominik Dijakovic. I think those are, or Velveteen Dream. I think either of those, any of those three, he stands a very, very good chance of retaining that championship. And then that partner, I think until they win this match, whoever he chooses as partner is not the tag team champion. But if they win, then they become also tag team champion, I guess, maybe. And they're free birding with Pete Dunne, perhaps. And then when he can rejoin them, then they can all like swap in and out or whatever. I don't know. It's like a new hodgepodge, new day over there. So anyway, that's it. There is some other stuff that's going to happen on NXT, but I forget what it is off the top of my head. Like another really big match. Maybe not a big match. Like a medium-sized match. Charlotte's supposed to be on there too. And we'll see. Hopefully Io just zips in there and just kicks her butt right out. Be like, get out of here. I'm going to beat you. Whenever that match happens, I'm going to beat you. So that's it. Let me know what you thought about this episode by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.